Alright. Hey guys, so I missed this in April. It's May right now. So we're gonna do 2 walking simulator games in May. Hope you guys enjoy this one. I've been looking forward to this one pretty good amount. Today, for walking simulator, we are gonna be playing that's good right there. The Beginner's Guide. I don't really know what this game is about, like, really at all, but we're gonna go into it and we're gonna find out. So let's start. See what it's all about. Make sure audio's on. Yeah.
Hi there. Thank you very much for playing The Beginner's Guide. My name is Davey Reedon. I wrote The Stanley Parable, and while that game tells a pretty absurd story,
I love it.
Today, I'm going to tell you about a series of events that happened between 2008 and 2011. We're going to look at the games made by a friend of mine named Coda. Now, these games mean a lot to me. I met Coda in early 2009 at a time when I was really struggling with some personal stuff, and his work pointed me in a very powerful direction. I found it to be a good reference point for the kinds of creative works that I wanted to make. So just to start you off, this is, I think, the first game he ever made. It's a level for Counter-Strike. You can walk around here, by the way.
I've seen this.
Mostly it's
maybe.
just Coda learning the basics of building a 3D environment. But what I like is that even though he starts from the simple aesthetic of a desert town, he then scatters these colorful abstract blobs and impossible floating crates around the level. And of course, it destroys the illusion that this actually is a desert town, and instead this level becomes a kind of calling card from its creator. It's like a reminder that this video game was constructed by a real person. And it kind of makes you wonder, what was going through his head as he was building this? This is what I like about all of Coda's games. I mean, not that they're all fascinating as games, but that they are all going to give us access to their creator. I want us to see past the games themselves. I want to get to know who this human being really is. And that's exactly what we're going to do here.
Coda.
So,
Okay.
It's 2008, Coda starts making these games, and he never releases any of them. He doesn't put them onto the internet, he just makes them and then immediately abandons them, and they sit on his computer forever. And I think he really understood this image of himself as a recluse. At one point, he jokingly renamed his computer's recycling bin to Important Games Folder. So, you know, this was just how he worked. He tended to crank them out one after the other without even really pausing to try to understand what he had just made, until suddenly one day, he just stopped. In 2011, that was it. He made his last game, and then he hasn't made another one since. And that's why I've taken this opportunity to gather all of his work together, is because I find his games powerful and interesting, and I'd like this collection to reach him, to maybe encourage him to start creating again. And if the people like you who play this also happen to find his work interesting, then I'm sure it'll just send that much stronger of a message of encouragement to Coda. So thanks for joining me on this. If you have a particular interpretation that I haven't mentioned here, or if you just need to get in touch, you can email me at daveywreden@gmail.com. Okay, that's about it for introduction. Let's take a look at Coda's first proper game. As each game is loading, I'll show you the date that it was completed. This first one was made in November 2008.
Okay. Coda's first game. Oh my fuck.
Whisper machine active. Shift to structure imminent.
Okay,
This
so
game
this
is
is
called Escape from Whisper, and it's one of the more generic games you'll see from Coda.
It seems pretty cool. The assets are very plain. This is like a Gary's mod kind of thing.
Security call breached. Hostile alien life form inbound.
It kinda looks like this game was abandoned mid-development. For instance, you have this gun, which you'd think would indicate that there are supposed to be monsters or enemies somewhere, but then clearly there are no enemies anywhere. You can't even reload the gun when you run out of
The
bullets.
door closed.
But ultimately, we don't really know. Maybe Coda thought that actually it was complete the way that it is. And I think that we should talk about his games for what they are, rather than for what they're not.
Enemy force neutralized. Begin ship evacuation.
I love how you can see the bottom of the universe from this room.
Oh my god, what the fuck? That's so freaky. Skybox. What is happening? Oh. He made a maze.
Apparently, this space station has a labyrinth on it. Sure, I don't know. There's really no reason for it that I've ever been able to discern, so in the interest of time, I'm just gonna skip you on past it.
Oh, okay. Alright.
Okay, this is the part that's interesting. The game has this narrative about the whisper machine and
Yeah,
how it
I've
has
been
to be
seeing
turned
that.
off, and then you get to the engine room.
Is that the whisper?
Hey, you there, in the engine room. You could save us all. That beam is powering the whisper machine. We could disrupt it by introducing a great enough heat signature. If your body could stop the beam. It's so much to ask, but for all of our lives, would you do it? Could you give yourself?
Can I leave? No. Alright.
Let me pause here for a second. What you just experienced, stepping into the beam and then dying, is probably what Coda had initially intended when he was developing this level.
Oh.
But when he first compiles and plays it, something goes wrong. There's a bug somewhere. And this is what happens instead.
Okay, so... Uh-huh.
The beam causes you to start floating.
I was going the right way. Look
And this
at
is
that.
an important moment for him. Because yes, this is technically a glitch, but Coda identifies something human about it. Like how small
Go
it
to the
makes you
heavens.
feel in the face of this larger chaotic system. Or this floating could be the afterlife, a peaceful place, juxtaposed against all of the hysteria that you've just had to traverse. I don't even know. I have no idea what he was thinking, but what's clear is that after making this, something lodges itself in his brain. He wants to do more of these really weird and experimental designs. So he stops work on this and moves on to a stream of tiny little games that go in all sorts of directions. Let's go ahead and take a look at the first game he made after leaving this one behind.
November 2008. Backrooms? The past was behind her.
Yep, in this game you can only walk backwards.
Oh god.
So it's a short
Future
and
cannot be
relatively
seen.
minimalist experiment combining motion and narrative. It is less advanced than the previous game, but actually it seems to be more focused, more complete. Coda's trying to give it a unique voice rather than simply basing it on a pre-existing trope.
Wow. Future's always behind her. How will she find the strength to confirm it?
It's a short little thought, it says what it wants to say, and then it ends. Didn't need anything more than that. Which to me is why it works, because it gets out quick. Okay, next one.
Okay. Still in November, wow. Uh-oh. Scary game? You are now entering.
And that's it. Okay, the meaning of this game won't be clear just yet. Please be patient with me for a few more games, and I promise you'll see what makes it interesting.
Alright. Okay, next month. Nonsense.
Oftentimes, Coda would put bizarre titles like this one at the start of his games.
Oh.
I wish I'd known him at the time that he was making these early games. He would really only talk to me about his work as he was making it. Once he stopped work on a game, like, that was it. It was dead to him. And I don't agree with that at all, but what are you gonna do?
Okay. There's no way Coda...
Once you've been slowed to an absolute crawl, the door at the top of the stairs opens. So why, if Coda's not showing these games to anyone, why bother opening the door at all? Well, to show you, I'm modifying the game here so that when you press enter, it'll bring you back up to full speed so you can enter the door for yourself.
Can I crawl all the way there? I'm gonna do it. I'm still moving. I'm gonna go all the way. I'm crawling all the way up. Hey, I got patience. Let me doom scroll on TikTok. Just gonna hold W.
These are fucking good. Now.
Let's find out what strangers.
I hope we're still friends, yeah, I hope you don't mind. I'm gonna call my lawyer and sue you blind. Sue.
Look, we're getting there. This is not gonna take that long.
When does human life begin?
The CIA has...
Okay, I showed y'all the smoker's toothpaste. This is the up.
Watch out. Wait, can I even turn?
If your teeth are full of black holes,
We got easy, we got hard, and we've got impossible. Level 1 easy. Hard mode. Level impossible. Right! I think it's time to bring in the big guns. Zach, Stan! Line change. Alright, let's go, boys. Time for impossible mode.
How did you get a woman like Selena Gomez to date you? For real. And I mean that.
I'm almost there. Who you thought I was? I do this. Didn't even take that long. This game has been really interesting so far. I really like how this is turning out to be. Just going through a developer's games that he unfinished and threw away. I think this is very cool. Is it actually going to give me anything or do anything for me for holding W the whole time? I don't know. We'll find out. Maybe I shouldn't have done this. Hello? Huh? I'm in the room. Something's supposed to be happening now that I'm in here. Was I not supposed to walk all the way up? No, did they not expect anyone to do that? Okay, well. Oh. When we collect items, the game automatically quits when you collect them all. You run a shop inside your
A
own
room
body.
that's warm and nice and filled with little ideas for games.
That's really cool.
Coda would often tell me that he didn't mind if people thought of him as cold or distant. He said that he knew that he was actually a vibrant and compassionate person, but that it takes time to really see that. It can be a very slow climb to get there.
January 2009, a month later. Ready, set, fish. Parking structure.
Well, this is new for Coda. It's an actual puzzle. Go ahead and see if you can solve it. Don't forget that solution, because we're going
There we
to see
go.
this puzzle again soon. We're gonna
Okay.
see it a lot.
That wasn't that bad. Pretty easy puzzle. What are these? What are these? I feel like I've been seeing these 3 dots everywhere I go. All the games. It's Coda's little signature.
So that seems to be it, right? You walk down a corridor, you solve the puzzle, you get to the end. Simple enough. Alright, now I'm going to modify the game again so that when you press enter, it'll remove all of the walls from this room.
Oh my god, what the fuck?
How about that? There was more to it than we had any way of knowing. I actually find it funny that this game comes after the Stairs game, since they essentially convey the opposite idea. So, in the Stairs game, a dull exterior concealed a rich interior. And then, in this level, a dull interior hides this fantastic outer world. Either way, I think that the point is the same, is that most of the time you don't get to know what you're missing, or even that you're missing anything. That's not your role as a player. So if your role here is not to understand, then what is it? How about that? There was more to it than we had any way of knowing. I actually think...
Hello? You are now exiting?
Aha. So, this, combined with the entering game from earlier, tells us that Coda believes his games are connected somehow. It could even be that the Stairs game and the puzzle game are literally connected in between this and the entering game. There's a bigger picture that all of his games are meant to play a role in, some larger meaning that we won't be able to grasp until we've seen all of them. And once we have, we can step back and start to understand what exactly that bigger picture is.
March, could we skip February? Great and lovely descent. Oh, what?
Let's talk about video game development for a second. Every video game runs on what's called an engine, which determines what the game can and cannot do. So in other words, the engine is a set of tools for game development. To make all of these games, Coda is using an engine called Source. Like all engines, Source has certain things that it does well, and it has certain things that it does poorly. One of the things that it does very well is boxy linear corridors. That's why so many of Coda's games are set in these large, flat, empty rooms, is just because he's working with what the engine does well. The tools available to the creator shape what kinds of creative work they're going to end up making. you might consider paying attention to the architecture in Coda's games, to notice how they seem to stem from an engine that's very good at producing linear, boxy corridors.
What am I hearing?
This prison, funny enough, in Coda's original design, the doors stayed shut for a full hour before letting you go. If you don't mind, I think we're gonna skip that. This is something that he and I used to argue about a lot. You know, whether a game ought to actually be playable, whether it means anything if no one can get through it. And I would always defend that, you know, all this work goes into the game, why not make it playable and accessible? And so we just got into heated arguments over it, and there was one time that after one of these conversations, he went home, and a day or two later, he sent me a zip file entitled Playable Games that was full of hundreds of individual games, each of which was just an empty box that you walked around in and nothing else. Believe me, I played every single one of those just to find out if there was like a gag hidden somewhere. There wasn't.
Wow. This looks like a space from Half-Life. There's the 3 dots again.
It's the puzzle again, with the exact same solution as the last time.
Really?
There's still no clear indication of what makes this puzzle so special that Coda is going to return to it over and over. But I promise I'll share with you my interpretation very shortly.
Shutting a new door to open a new one. Closing away in old habits to start new good ones. I don't know. Just guessing. Throwing things out there. Hello. You there, did you come from above?
Here, Coda begins using a kind of dialogue system that he fashioned out of the engine's chat capabilities. Use the 1, 2, 3 buttons on your keyboard to respond.
Okay, bye. This is so freaky. Oh, hello. What the hell?
And so we make one last descent down to the final floor of the level.
In a schoolyard or something.
It's a lamppost. Okay, I can't tell you quite why, but for some reason, Coda fixates on this lamppost. It's going to appear at the end of every single one of his games from here on out. I'll tell you what I think. I think that up to this point, he's been making really strange and abstract games with no clear purpose, and maybe you can only float around in that headspace for so long. Because now he wants something to hold on to. He wants a reference point. He wants the work to be leading to something. He wants a destination, which is what this lamppost is. It's a destination. We're gonna see it in the work as well. His games are just gonna become a lot more cohesive, a lot more fully developed, with more of a clear idea behind them. And as we go, that idea will get clearer and clearer and clearer.
Interesting. April 2009. This game is connected to the internet. As you walk around, you can leave notes. Oh. But he didn't release this game. Nice room, not.
So first off, I'm sure you can deduce this, but this game is not connected to the internet. All of the notes that you're gonna see have been written by Coda. This was actually the first game of his that I ever played. This was shortly after I met him at a weekend game jam in Sacramento, where I grew up. I saw him working on this very level, and it was just so different from anything that anyone else was doing. So right away I was like, I have to be friends with this person. In retrospect, I think I was probably a bit too pushy, trying to get his attention. I was over-enthusiastic. But he was very gracious about it and very patient with me. And I cooled off eventually. Oh, feel free to skip over any of these notes if they're not doing anything for you. Nothing extra is gonna happen if you read all of them. Either way, to me they convey a sense of loneliness. I see this person who's filled with thoughts and feelings and beliefs and has no way to express them except as scattered and unheard voices in a game that wasn't meant to be played.
Awesome. What the shit is this cavern?
But it's ironic, isn't it? That in playing this game and seeing how alone Coda often felt, that we get to know him better and actually kind of connect with him. And I have to be honest with you, this idea is really seductive to me. That I could just play someone's game and see the voices in their head and get to know them better and have to do less of the messy in-person socializing. I could just get to know you through your work. I think this is why I always liked Coda's games so much, is because it felt like they let me have that connection. I felt as though he was inviting me personally into his world. And then I feel less lonely too.
I'm reading all of these, by the way. I just saw a flying penguin. Let me tell you, it was the most majestic thing I've ever seen. I don't feel like living because nothing... Oh, fuck. Nothing will ever be as majestic as that. I never want to see again. If nothing will ever be that beautiful again, I'm crying and plan on ripping my eyes out. I must go and do that now. Holy shit. Do not be afraid. Do care. This game is so nice. I would like it when I could. Do you feel like a hero yet? In a world full of notes, one man will read all of them. This summer, you will believe blue speech bubbles can talk. Cool cavern, bro. We're running out of space. Soon we will suffocate. There are too many messages in this area. Why? Hey, I can type here. I'd rather be doing literally anything other than playing this. Well, damn. The guy over there wrote much wrong. So did you just now. How do I get over there? Wait, what? Wait, what? Oh, man. I mean, I'm assuming if I go through that door, it'll take me around. I wanted to read all of them. I wanted to read all of those. You can't get over there. Well, whatever. Whee! Butt-ass butt type shit. I need to go to the frickin' bathroom. Go to the bathroom, dude. Recognize me, please. Look at that lone one right there. There's nothing here. Go back. Don't listen to that guy. A free t-shirt. Need other side. Door, why you so? Door, how open? Open sesame. Makes game, includes door, can I open door? Thanks. Someday I will meet the person who made this. Hey, whoa. I help people because of the internal good feeling I get. New room! Holy shite. Do you hear the chimes? They keep going, don't they? I would like very much to be desired. Wow, that's fucking deep. It's not very crowded here. Scared of writing something, don't want to feel judged. A game where you leave notes and suddenly everyone's a poet. Don't bother. You can go in here, I think. Welcome, congratulations. I don't really know where to go with this. Okay. This is where I get off. I failed to write anything here. I am compelled. Stop, turn back. Proceeding further will only result in misery. Bro, what? Take my hand, let's jump to... Holy shit. What the fuck is wrong with these people? Cabbage shapes our nation. Uh-huh. What is that painting? It's random stuff, that's for sure. Can I... Okay. Hey, don't talk about me that way. I didn't say anything to you. It doesn't matter if you ever get over there. Alright. Very good game. Agreed. I think I'm this is not going anywhere. Next time I will do better. I need someone to talk to. Wait! I just completely forgot that Coda made all these. Holy fuck! This game was never, because all his games were never released. This is a note? Coda just made all these. Don't listen to the other notes. I'm not safe. Jesus. I just heard whispering. I swear to God. Today I learned you cannot fall off. Ethical. In my ear. I saw a person walking down there. Now it won't come back. Huh? Yeah, Coda's lying. Devil Tower Star. Huh? It's about how this game is pretentious and you all suck. Awesome. Devil Tower Star. What the fuck is Devil Tower Star? Cabbage shapes our nation. From up here, it just looks like dots. It is just dots. I'm hearing a lot of whispering. I think it's about how things look messy from up close and perfect far away. Help, I'm trying to speak. We will all die someday. Spoilers doesn't mean anything. Stop pretending you are other people. You're saying that. Who are all of you? Well done, all of you. Whoever made this has issues. Painting, what does it mean? Stop faking it. What the fuck? Art. Hey guys, how's it just hanging? Maybe I'll feel real someday. He was himself, the most horrible creature he could imagine. Well, I'm here now. Yeah, we're all here now. There must be a reason for it, though. His terrible secret, he kept it well. I beat the game! I have more room?
At the end of this level, we're going to see the puzzle again. And here, I'll tell you what I think the puzzle means. Each of these games represents an idea that was on Coda's mind at the time that he was making it. And the puzzle is a way of closing the door on a previous chapter of his life before moving on to the next one.
That's what I kind of said, right? Almost there. There's so many whispers. I've seen everything. I've traveled the world, and I've never told anyone. I wish there was notes in the real world. Okay, someone just cleared their fucking throat. Become one with the spiraling nonsense. Downward, keep digging.
In each of his games, after exploring a theme that, he might find difficult, Coda can then place this puzzle that he knows has a reliable solution, he understands exactly how it works, and so it gives him a simple mechanism for moving on.
Almost at the end. Does this puzzle have a solution? Oh my gosh, I've been here for literally an hour. What the fuck? Help. Help. This doesn't make sense. The second door won't open. Shit, how do you solve it?
And because there's this dark area between the doors, a space between spaces,
There's no second
before
switch,
you
no
move
solution.
on, you get to
Heading back to
pause.
start later, guys.
Just for a moment, a few seconds to reflect on and let go of the events that led you here. To step back and connect the pieces together. To grasp at that elusive bigger picture.
Oh, what the hell? How do you leave notes? Hey, there it is. And a fuckload of typewriters. All leaving notes. What the hell? May through June 2008.
Okay, this one is tough. It's gonna kinda just spin its own wheels for a few minutes. Hang with it.
Porn stars die too. Uh-huh. What is that? Same audio repeating. Okay. There's a painting.
See, this is it. The whole game. And there's nothing that's particularly interesting about it. You just walk to the end of a hallway. Except, for some reason, Coda gets really fixated on this prison that has all of this modern furniture. And I don't know why, but he decides he needs to revisit this prison. He's gonna start over, use the same assets, turn it into something else. Okay, cool. Here's version 2.
That's why it said through night. Well, okay, all the furniture's gone. What furniture ought to go in the center of the room? The hole in the ground. It's not what I said. 10 stoves. It's not what I said. Skylight. It's tables were invented in 1935. Boom.
there's a bit more to this one, but still it's not really communicating anything. It's kind of just weird for weirdness' sake.
No problem with that, right?
So okay, he throws it out and starts over. This time he comes at the prison idea from a different direction.
Take care that you remember each step. First, click on this table. Good. Go over to the photo. 3 dots right there. Click, turn it slightly. Now turn the floor lamp in this room off and turn it back on. Touch the shelves. Oh. That's it. In a real prison, the escape will now open. Return to the start to be taken back to your prison. Okay.
And of course, now the table is gone and you can't begin the chain of events to escape. Here's a version where there are no bars, but you can't actually get to the well. And then a version where the inside of the prison is the outside and the outside is the inside. Let me just blink you real quick through a few more of these. I mean, he really unloaded on this prison idea. There's nearly a dozen of them. Personally, I think it's awful to watch this, to see a person basically unraveling through their work. And for what? Like, at what point do you just go, maybe there are game ideas other than this prison that I could be working on? But Coda doesn't have that voice telling you to stop, that particular mechanism of defense against yourself. Without it, you just spiral. And so he keeps going and going and going and going and going, and then he hits on something. And he likes it. And that's it. He's done. He stops making prisons. This is the very last version of the prison game that he created. And the reason I think it works is that the prison is not actually in it.
Hey, it's the lamp. It's gonna send me back and I can't get to the lamp because the lamp in his games is the goal. No? I was wrong. Okay.
It's a conversation. And so this is what Coda wants, is to be able to talk to someone, to share what's on his mind, and to get some good advice from someone who knows. But the irony is that even in this scenario, you're still talking to yourself. You know, all of these games so far are Coda talking to himself.
Click on the table.
I can see why he considers this a fitting conclusion to the prison games. After all of the obsession and frustration, just to be told by someone you can trust that things are going to be okay. Wouldn't that be nice?
August 2009.
So what would it look like if Coda wanted to make a game about talking to someone other than himself?
Well, he would have
to
to...
me, this environment is meant to represent Coda's puzzle, with the two doors on either side and a dark transitional space between. You'll notice that the quality of the art is a step up from previous games, including this new and improved chat system, which he started using from this point on. From here on out, he begins putting much more effort into the visual polish of his work, and this particular game took 2 months to create as a result.
Think you've got nothing that needs cleaning. Be careful, because that means it's everything. That's a really good thing. I like that a lot.
After the intense set of prison games, this house cleaning level almost feels like cleansing. It's the moment after a particularly difficult or traumatic experience where you just need to let it sit and digest inside of you, and eventually cohere into something meaningful. I know that Coda really liked this game. Of all of his work, actually, this was the only one that he called me up to ask me to come over and look at it. This was during a period of a few months where he was like grossly happy all the time, just walked around with a constant smile on his face. I'm glad he made this. I'm glad he found some peace.
No way.
course, it can't last. The music stops, your companion is gone, it's time to leave. The door at the top of the hill is now open as well. Again, you can't stay in the dark space for too long. You just can't. You have to keep moving. It's how you stay alive.
No way. Weirdo. Oh, the walls are gone? Oh. And there's a lamp.
Which is the whole point of the puzzle doors, right? That sooner or later you have to pick up and move. I really thought that was the point of it.
That was really special. I felt that it was really special.
This one gets a bit goofy.
Oh. Oh. Oh, Jesus. What the fuck?
About halfway through the game, the perspective shifts.
Oh.
And you play as the teacher. And suddenly, you discover that your teacher is just as bigoted and afraid as you are. Oh, and also you can move around the classroom now.
Something coming out of the back, look. Everyone run.
I felt pretty hard for this one. I feel like it's one of the most relatable experiences that you can have. To assume that some other person is perfect and totally fulfilled in every way, and completely miss all of the little flaws that make them painfully human. I think about this game a lot these days.
We're all painfully human. Oh wow, we skipped a pretty big jump. Same couches as the
This
prison.
one took a lot longer than all the others for Coda to make. It was 4 months between this and the last one. That's twice as long as it took him to make any other game before this, and it's not like it's particularly complex, so I remember I found that a little strange at the time.
That's so weird. Sound. Fucking Christ! Oh. Hello. Bonk. 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 Wait. Oh, hello. One chance to learn something from her, to gain something, to succeed. Go on, say something to her. Hello. Wise, happy, successful, and focused. It's not a conversation. You need to actually converse with her. Be a human being. Do it again. Damn, okay. I like you. No, no, no. That's not what I said to her at all. You are completely missing the tone of this conversation. I was reversed when I knew what I wanted. I was confident. For some reason, it was just that moment, but I was confident. Maybe it's that you need a better feel of the setting. There were a lot of people around us. I'll give you some props to work with. These cones that bounce when you touch them represent the people nearby. Now talk to her again. You're messing it all up again. You'll freak her out if that conversation gets personal that quick. Do you not realize how important this was for me? I'll never get another opportunity like this again. Everything was riding on this. I want to try something. Try stepping back from the stage. This was pretty special. Fuck, what's happening? And I'm in the prison again. Okay, yes, now this is working.
The game ends with this eerie premonition of what's going to happen next in Coda's life. The solution to social anxiety, to fears of having to perform and having to chase success, the answer for Coda is to withdraw, to hide himself away. Which is what leads to scenarios like the stairs that slowed you down several games ago, where it just becomes harder and harder to access Coda's inner landscape because he keeps retreating. He just keeps backing away from possible connections to anyone other than himself. And to be honest, I didn't consider it very healthy when I first played this game. You know, it looked to me like he was trying to justify the idea of just disconnecting yourself from the world. And that wasn't what I wanted for him or for his games. Because I feel like a lot of his games are inviting me to connect with this person, to bring him closer. But what can you do? After this, Coda went off and took another 5 months to make a new game.
Oh. June 2010. Mobius Triplets game. Probably just keep your eyes closed. Click to begin. What's going on? Nope, I'm blind. Okay, no. And my vision is suddenly black. Please, someone talk to me. Be quiet, and we find shields. Captain, what can we do?
You should probably open your eyes if you haven't already. It's pretty much impossible to solve otherwise. And there is a solution, by the way.
Truth. Wow, did he really make that?
Like I said, I was getting concerned. First off, he's never been this explicit in his work about exactly what he's thinking. So where's that coming from? But then even weirder, his work has potentially stopped being an outlet for him. Not like he's having trouble iterating on ideas, but he literally just can't think of new ideas anymore. And in person, he was being a lot more distant than usual. Like, you know how sometimes a person will just deflect anything that you say in order to keep themselves disconnected all the time? It was that kind of thing. Here was the point in my relationship with Coda where I really started to wonder if he needed my help in some way. His games are going to get more desperate from here on out. After this game, it's almost 6 months before he finishes something new.
Oh, wow. Okay. Hello? Oh. Boy. Where did this island come from? Oh, this is creepy. So you look lost. I have nothing left to give my work. What's happening? kept going to me and it stopped. I'm looking for a machine? I think I know where it is. It isn't that far. You have to take me to it. This is so freaky. I can do that.
If the last game featured Coda talking explicitly about his creative frustrations, this one turns it up to 11. Now, put yourself in my shoes playing this. Here's a friend whose work is exhibiting signs of struggle, frustration, anxiety, depression, even. And yet, still, he keeps making games. He keeps throwing himself into the grinder even when he clearly doesn't have the energy for it anymore. Why? What is it for? Because from my perspective at the time, and just what I knew of him, this was a result of how isolated he was. He was in his own little bubble, just sitting at his computer all day, not really showing these games to anyone, not releasing them onto the internet, and so he didn't have anyone outside of himself to connect with. He had no outlet to ground himself on.
Oh. Never mind.
You can't talk yourself out of loneliness. It doesn't work that way. You can't be the one writing both the questions and the answers. Then there's no movement. Then there's no circulation. If all of your anxieties are being channeled into your work, then if the work ever fails, you have no backup and you're just going to crash. Seeing this game at the time that he made it looked really unhealthy to me. I was watching him do this to himself, and I hated it. I hated seeing him so trapped. It's like, video games are not worth this amount of suffering. This is someone I really cared about, and I used to get so much joy out of seeing him create. For him to suddenly become angry and frustrated like this, it was the worst thing for me. I don't know. This is what I felt at the time. I don't know how else to explain it. I wanted it to stop more than anything. I had never felt so rotten. I needed more than I had ever needed anything for this to stop. But it didn't stop. After finishing this one, Coda takes another 7 months and comes up with a new game.
Oh, wow, that was tough. May 2011. A machine. Oh.
And of course, it's the machine.
This is fucking sad. Hello? Oh, we're back here. Awesome. Uh-huh. Coda, I'll make sure your work dies. Oh, I'm fucking destroying his work. Did Coda actually make, like, this is all real, right? Because, I mean, Jesus.
So now the work is becoming self-destructive. And I'll tell you, at the time that I first played this game, shortly after he made it, here's what I'm thinking to myself. I'm thinking that Code is stuck in his own head, and that it's having a very negative effect on him, and that all he needs to do is just start showing his work to people, to get some actual feedback on his games. It might get him out of isolation. And so, as I'm thinking this, I realize that I could be the one to initiate it. Because it would never occur to Coda to start actively soliciting feedback, so what if I did it for him? If he could see the difference it would make to have more actual conversations with other human beings, would that bring him out of his mental spiral? Would it give him confidence in himself? Would it bring meaning back into his work? So I started showing Coda's work to people. I took this one, and the islands which you just played, the theater, the notes, the house cleaning game, and some of the prison escape games. I brought them to people that I knew and trusted. I asked their opinions. And the great part is that they really loved his games. You know, the point of it all was just to give him some external reference point, but they genuinely loved his work. There was nothing for him to be afraid of. Can you see why I felt like this was the right thing to do? Because it's the thing that I always feel like I need, to be told that my work is good, that I am good. When someone really connects with a thing that I've made, when they see themselves purely in my work, there's nothing that feels better. And I got to give that very same feeling to my friend. I did something, I really felt like I'd done something good, like I was a good person. I felt like there was a friend who was in trouble and was unhappy and maybe didn't like themselves, and I could fix it. If I could give him this gift, maybe I could fix the problem. When they told me how much they enjoyed his games, it was the best feeling. It was the absolute best feeling. It made me feel so happy. So beautifully, beautifully happy. So anyway, Coda finishes this game, and then really he just kind of takes off for a while. So this is June of 2011, and I didn't hear anything from him for several weeks, I guess. And so out of nowhere, one day I get an email, and it's got a private link to a new game of Coda's. This one is called The Tower, and to my knowledge, it's the last game that Coda ever made. So let's take a look.
Okay. Oh man, hearing shit already.
And this is where I have trouble
Whoa.
saying anything meaningful about Coda's work. Because more than anything else, the tower just feels distant. It feels like it's trying to distance itself from the world. It's a very cold game. This room actually has a maze in it.
What the fuck?
Except that all the walls of the maze are invisible. And then every time you touch one of the walls, there's this awful flashing and noise, so the experience is really miserable. The game goes beyond not being meant to be played, it actually seems to despise the player for trying to play it at all. But I do want to show you the rest of the levels, so when you're ready to continue, press enter and I'll put a bridge over the maze.
I'm not doing that. That's crazy. Wow. My goodness.
And to be fair, it's not like this is the first game that's needed some modification to be playable. Like the house cleaning game. You know, that one used to actually loop the cleaning chores and you just cleaned a house forever. I had to cut it off so that you could exit the house and the game would actually end. But that game had an idea that it was actually trying to communicate. What's the deeper idea behind the invisible maze? The only way past this challenge is to randomly guess the 6-digit code. Like the invisible maze, it's frustrating to me, because it's the opposite of everything else that Coda has made. It doesn't encourage thought or engagement. It doesn't ask anything of me, except a lot of my time. If I could have reached him during this time, then maybe I could have asked him, but I couldn't. I still don't really understand why this is here. I'll put the code on the ground for you here, though, so that we can move on. The switch to open this door is actually on the other side of the door, meaning that it's literally impossible to solve from this side. So even if you somehow brute forced your way through the first 2 challenges, and you got to this point, there's actually just no way to progress. And it's scary for me, the idea of Coda cutting himself off entirely, just saying, you know, that's it, that's the end of the conversation, not giving me any way to fix the problem. I feel like a failure, I guess, when I can't fix the problem. But I can open this door for you, so let me do that. Was I a failure for not understanding this game? I mean, I don't know why I would be. It's not like everything needs to have a solution, but I feel it somehow. I feel like I failed, and I don't understand why. I remember, it's June of 2011. I'm playing this for the very first time. And as I'm playing, I'm thinking to myself, I don't know this person. I have no idea who this person is. It wasn't the guy I knew, it wasn't my friend. I had come to so many conclusions from looking at all of his work up to this point, and then suddenly none of them... I had been trying to, though. That was the thing. For years I was trying to get to know him, to understand who he actually was and what he stood for. I asked him so many times to please just tell me what his games mean to him. I asked him please to tell me what the 3 dots mean. And he wouldn't.
Yep. They are a thing. 3 dots.
I just felt so strongly that if I could have connected with him, that if I could have somehow made his work my own, that I would finally be once and for all happy. It was that I needed to see myself in someone else. I needed to be someone other than me. But he stopped and left, and it felt somehow like I had failed. Where did I screw up? I'm the reason that you stopped making games, aren't I? It's because of what I did. I poisoned it for you. I don't think I ever told you this, but when I took your work and I was showing it to people, it actually felt... it felt as though I were responsible for something important and valuable. And the people who played them, they treated me like I was important. They really listened and cared about what I had to say. Even though I was showing your work, I felt good about myself. Finally. For a moment, while I had that, I liked myself.
Oh. You fucking put the lamppost.
And then you stopped. And I didn't have anything left to show people. I just had to be with myself. And as soon as that happened, there was no feeling at all. Nothing. Less than nothing. What does that mean?
Bro, your games are so obviously showing that you... Oh my fucking god. What am I playing?
I'm afraid that I did something really stupid because I don't like myself. That's why I'm releasing this collection of your work, is because I haven't been able to find any other way to reach you. I've tried everything. And so a part of me has hope that if I put this compilation out into the world, and if I put my name on it, that maybe enough people will play it so that it'll find its way to you, so that I can tell you that I'm sorry. I know I screwed up. If I apologize to you truly and deeply, will you start making games again? Please, I need to feel okay with myself again. And I always felt okay as long as I had your work to see myself in. I mean, is something wrong with me? Because I know that I did an awful thing, and I'm doing it again right now. Like, I'm showing people your work, but I can't stop myself from doing it. That's how badly I need to feel something again, like I'm an addict. There has to be something wrong with me. Can I apologize? What if I tell you I was wrong? Will that work? Will that fix it? I don't know. I don't think it will, but there's nothing else that I can do. Just tell me what you want. I'm sorry. I'm sorry. Please, start making games again. Please help me. Please give me some of whatever it is that makes you complete. I want whatever that wholeness is that you just summoned out of nothing and you put into your work. You were complete in some way that I never was. And I want to know I want to know how to be a good person. I want to know how not to hate myself. Please. I'm fading, and all I want is to know that I'm going to be okay.
Oh my god.
more love, more praise, more people telling me that I'm good. Always more. It's like a disease. Solution. I guess if someone had told me ahead of time that he just really enjoyed making prison games, maybe I wouldn't have thought he was so desperate. I wouldn't have told so many people that he was depressed. Maybe he just likes making prisons. Even now, the disease is telling me to stop. Don't show people what a shitty person you are. They'll hate you. If I knew that my life depended on finding something to be driven by other than validation, what would that even be? It's strange, but the thought of not being driven by external validation is unthinkable. Like, I actually cannot conceive of what that would be like. What now? I think I need to go. And I'm sorry, because I know that I said that I would be here and I would walk you through this, but I'm starting to feel like I have a lot of work to do. I have a lot that I need to make up for. And so I'm just gonna... Okay.
Oh my gosh. This is tough. This poor dude. He's been projecting so hard. Or maybe he was genuinely worried for a friend, that so worried that it turned into projection. I don't know. This is insane. Oh, it's the fucking... Send to the afterlife. Wow, this game was very powerful. And very depressing. Oh, wow. What the fuck? Endless maze.
Turn back. Turn back from this cave.
For R? Who's
You
R?
said, let me prove that I'm brave. Let me keep going. But the cave goes for miles and miles and miles.
Oh boy. That was tough.
And you're so tired. But I know that you're strong. So turn back. Turn back.
Wow. That was very powerful, very depressing, and something that I'm gonna look up if this is real. If this is real, that's just super sad. Anyways, thank you guys for going on that journey with me. Later this month of May, we're gonna drop another one because this episode was supposed to be in April, but it's May 2nd. So, yeah. That was a lot to process. I'm gonna stop this recording now. Hope you guys enjoyed this Let's Play The Beginner's Guide. Yeah. See you next time. Bye bye.